Buenos dias, long time no see. We're back here at Restaurante Don Roger, live overlooking the Pacific. And get started maybe about 5 minutes early. Mono Congos we're at it. But yeah, I've been under the weather for the last couple of weeks, so I haven't done the live. So I'm back, 100% back, and doing the live here from. So this will be the last live of the year here at Restaurante Don Roger in Costa Rica. And tide's a little bit higher right now. I'll flip it out to the tide to let you have a view. And if you're tuned in, let me know what the weather is where you're at. So we have a contrast. We've got overcast skies this morning. It's really actually a beautiful day. Little bits of blue sky there. But this time of year, it's really nice when it's like this because you get a break from the sun, which can get intense. Although I do have clothes on the line, they could use a little sunshine. As you're a return viewer, you can see the cactus in the lower right had to be trimmed a little bit because it was starting to obscure the view. So uh, that gets trimmed from time to time. So you can see there's a few boats out there getting ready to bring people on whale watching tours. And you probably can't see it, but closer, there's a couple of surfers in the ocean getting ready to catch some waves. Depending on if you're watching on a phone or if you're watching on a big screen. So yeah, Christmas is come and gone, and it's in Costa Rica. It's a different kind of holiday. It's celebrated the same way as it is in the States in a lot of ways, but there's also the added feature of people like to go to the beach on Christmas because it's anytime there's a vacation, the beach is usually an option. So there's a lot of people headed to the beach, and this continues from now to New Year's and beyond, really. But yeah, the day after Christmas was actually busier at a lot of the businesses here. It was the most crowded I've ever seen it here, probably. And on Christmas Day itself, there was quite a few restaurants open, especially down by the beach. Buenos dias, buenos dias. Yes, I'm back to 100%, feeling a lot better. One of the things I did that made me feel better, I had a little bit of a stomach flu, that type thing. I started making these smoothies with had papaya, mango, pineapple, a little bit of ginger, some crushed pumpkin seeds, and the papaya seeds are supposed to be really helpful for your stomach. I think I had banana in there. Just about every fruit I could think of, I threw in there. It's really good. What I do is I make the smoothie, and then I freeze it. I make it in the I make the smoothie in my Ninja. I actually made 2 batches the other day, and I started doing a video on that. I've got so many videos that I started and haven't finished. I actually started doing a video about being sick in Costa Rica. Then I'm like, well, this is just a little bit too much information. I don't really want to share all this stuff, so I'm just going to leave it at I was sick for I think 11 days. But yeah, it's no fun to be sick when you want to go out and do things. Especially Christmas was going on. There were so many cool festivities I wanted to do videos about. And I missed El Mercado for about 3 or 4 days or 3 or 4 times in a row. And El Mercado is twice a week. It's kind of one of my social events I go to. Everybody this time of year talks about New Year's resolutions, and it's one of those things that doesn't usually pan out. But one thing I would like to do is I would like to stop saying kind of, because I say that all the time. I don't know why I say that. Oh, it's kind of a good day. It's kind of this. Even when I just mean to say it's a straight up good day. I say, well, it's a kind of, that's kind of difficult. So I'm going to work on not saying kind of. So the road up here to Don Rogers is in really great shape. Actually, this morning it's perfect because it rained a little bit last night, so it's not even dusty at all. But they did a great job of grading it. A lot of the roads around here are in a lot better shape now because they got to get the maintenance done. So you can hear little cabrita, little baby goat, making a little bit of morning chatter this morning. Yet to hear from the rooster Don Roger. And this is usually an interesting time of the morning. If you note the clouds right now, there's very little blue sky, but it's the blue sky is really starting to come through quite a bit. I keep meaning to do a time lapse, but I haven't done that yet. We need to do a live here for the sunset view. The sunset's really pretty awesome here. And I did a live from last week from Cafe Vivo, which used to be the Tagua Cafe. But without the view, it's not quite as interesting. There's a really cool restaurant in Capos that's got a really nice view. I've been thinking about doing a live from there. So I think that if you don't have a conversation with somebody, like a topic type thing, having a view is just as good. Some people just have a discussion in their lives. I can remember my friend Sarah used to do a live early in the morning, and when I was back in cold upstate New York, I would just love to tune in just to see that there's somewhere in the world where it wasn't covered in snow. Oh my God, it's open now. I can't pronounce that. Pinuela, Playa Pinuela is open. That's awesome because I want to go there with my paddleboard. Buenos días, ¿cómo estás? Muchas gracias. Todo listo. Necesito, no, yo quiero un tostado francesca en café negro, por favor. Gracias. No, there's a beach here in Uvita that's been closed. I think it's been closed ever since I've been here. Like over a year, it's been closed. Playa Pinuela. Pinuela. I hope I'm saying that correct. Maybe I'm going to stop apologizing for my mispronunciations in 2023. But yeah, I'm really curious about that. I've been down there quite a few times, and every time it's been closed. That's exciting news. Thanks for sharing. Have you been there yet? I think it is part of Moreno Ballena. This southern most point of it, I think. But what seems to be nice to me is the waves aren't as intense there. So for me, paddleboarding would be easier because it's kind of tough to get through the breakers with a big 12-foot paddleboard. I think you do need to pay, but we'll see. Maybe not. They're gonna have to make some money to pay for all the construction that went on there. I don't know what kind of construction was going on there, but they were closed for that long for that reason, apparently. Yeah, you probably have to pay your $6 plus plus the taxes. It ends up to get into Moreno Ballena is it's usually it figures out to close to $7 when you figure in the taxes and stuff. Even though the official charge is 6. So with the new year coming, I've got to start thinking about doing another border run. I've got to my border run needs to be done by the 12th of January, and I'm not sure if I'm going to Paso Canoas this time or a different area. I saw on Facebook there was a robbery of a person in one of the stores at the mall in Paso Canoas in broad daylight. A woman was robbed by several men while she was shopping. It was pretty disturbing. They had it on surveillance video, and then she did the smart thing and just calmly gave up all her stuff. Gracias. So interrupt the view just very quickly to show you that the coffee is here. So yeah, I was given a suggestion of a different place to go for the border run by somebody that emailed me, and I'm not sure if I could even find the email. I'm so disorganized. But I've always, Paso Canoas isn't like the most pretty place, but I always felt fairly safe there. But apparently, this woman was targeted because she'd been to the bank and she withdrew quite a bit of money on the Costa Rican side. And then she went to the mall, and I guess this happened on the Panama side. So yeah, there's crime that happens that people really just don't hear about unless you're paying attention. So it's not the kind of thing the anybody that's involved in tourism likes to promote very much. That's something that happens here. So if you're just tuning in, we're back live from Restaurante Don Roger, the Mirador in Uvita, Costa Rica. And if you can, hit that like button because that helps me with the YouTube algorithm, because the YouTube algorithm hates me. That's what everybody says, but yeah, not that that's important. I'm more concerned we have quality viewers, which we do. So that's the important thing. I'm going to throw you back out to the view, but give me a like if you would. I know some of the regular viewers are actually here in Costa Rica now. I know Kim from Minnesota is in Costa Rica, and I think he's here for a month or more. And it's a good time to be in Costa Rica when you think about the weather that's going on, at least in the States. I'm not sure how it is in Europe. So there was a nice, excuse me, a nice parade in town that I missed. There's a thing where there's a bunch of horses that do a little kind of parade outside of town. I missed that. And they had like a festival of lights. I missed all that because I was a little bit under the weather. But the good thing about being sick is you feel so much better after it's over. You're like, oh wow, I feel like a Superman. And I was without coffee for I think 8 days without coffee. And I'm a morning person, so I don't really need coffee to get going. But I miss the ritual of making coffee and the just the flavor of coffee. Muchas gracias. I'm not sure what they do for New Year's, Wayne. Um, I, I know that a lot of things are open that I wouldn't think would be open. I don't know if they do a fireworks display here or not. That's a good question. I know there's well, if you've been here, there's a lot of private fireworks going on all over the place, and some of the private displays are pretty intense. I know the monkeys don't like it very much. Yeah, the private fireworks have been going on for at least a week or so. Yeah, there's a lot of A lot of fireworks, a lot of extra music that you don't normally hear. Ah, gracias. Perfecto. Entonces, mi breakfast is here. I'll show you the breakfast because people get mad if I don't show them. I'm not going to show you me eating it, but I'll show you what it looks like. Has some syrup. It's it's a simple breakfast, but it's a delicious breakfast. You got banana, watermelon, pineapple, and French toast. And we got a little stingless honeybee that wanted to take a sample of my syrup or my head. I don't know. Ah. Hey, RT Productions. Work from comp. What's that? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Work from comp. One thing, internet connection is not always as good as you would hope it would be. And to legally work in Costa Rica, you have to have residency. You want to do several different ways of residency. Oh yeah, computer. There's a lot of different. Um, I don't. There's somebody that does this thing. It almost strikes me as a pyramid scheme, but apparently some people do it. It's about redirecting advertising to websites or something. There's a woman, uh, Muriel and the Sunshine Family. She does videos about that working from the computer. But if you're working for a company in the States, it's tough because if you don't have a reliable connection, they won't really allow you to work remotely, depending on your company. I know the company that I used to work for would never even consider uh, working for Costa Rica because the power does go out. I do have a uninterruptible power supply for when for when the power just goes out for a little bit. But sometimes it goes out for a little bit longer, and it's in and out, and sometimes it's not as robust as you would hope. And it really depends on where you are. Different locations have better better connections. Some places do have fiber optic. I'm not even sure what my connection is, but it's not as robust as I'm used to. But there's a lot of people that do it. Buenos dias, Dirk. I really enjoyed your 3-part series on Costa Rica. And Dirk was here a few weeks ago, and he shot a little documentary on Costa Rica. And he just premiered the last episode last week. It was pretty cool. And it's Dirk's Wild World. So if you get a chance, check that out. Yeah, Uvita is kind of chill, but I tell you, there's a mood swing that goes on in Uvita right about now, a little bit. From the start of December, it gets really that's when the high season starts, so you get a lot of people coming in. But there's different parts of the area. I mean, if you get back in the mountains, you can find a really totally chill place. But for instance, like now when you go down into downtown, it's almost like a traffic jam trying to get out of the road from that's near the bank. So it is a chill town. It is, and there's chill places to go, but it's not as chill for the next 3 months or so. But you can definitely find places to get away. Like, for instance, on the road from Dominical to Perez Zeldin, there's a lot of different places up in the mountains you go, little towns. And even here in Uvita, when you get back going towards the mountain, towards the mountains, there's a lot of small little casitas and things like that. I mean, a car rental business is really competitive, and you really have to have a reputation to do well. But yeah, I mean, if you had a car rental business, it would have to be run by a Costa Rican if you weren't a resident. But yeah, I mean, people are always looking for somebody they can trust. That's always a big deal with rentals. The rivers, I haven't actually been out to the waterfall lately, but I know the river's way down. It's down quite a bit. I like it when the water's higher. The waterfalls are prettier. It's got to be close to easier. Well, it's definitely going to be easier than when I was there. But I recently saw a video of somebody going down there trying to hold on to a bottle of liquor. He ended up going down that little small waterfall where people go swimming, which isn't a huge deal, but it was funny to watch them go rolling over the little waterfalls. You should have got a hold of me. You can bring a rope just to make sure that nobody gets washed downstream. Did Germany get much snow this year? I know the U.S. got hammered. Snow and ice. So I'm way behind on video production. I feel like I'm I'm going to be happy to see the new year, because the new year gives you that new slate and kind of it kind of is a good time to make any changes that you want to do, any pivots you want to do, and got a few ideas for 2023. I'm kind of building, my excitement is building for that. Uh, well, Germany's warm right now, so the way things have been going, right before when spring gets here, you'll probably get a huge snowstorm. You get buried. The way things happen, Murphy's law. So Costa Rica Chronicle and her husband and her faithful dog and their cats they have a rental up in the mountains, but they had to leave for a month, and they're staying at this kind of a cool resort. So is your vacation to the resort over yet? I know you actually prefer your house up in the mountains. So that's exciting news about Punuelo being open. I have to go check that out. Oh, that's almost here. Buenos dias, my boys, from Costa Rica, from Bermuda to Costa Rica. That's not a bad life there, man. I'm telling you, you did something right, and you continue to do something right. So in 2023, I'm going to try to do some lives with some people. And I think I may have found an interpreter to do some episodes, so that'll be interesting for 2023. Trying to build up the excitement for 2023, and also in 2023, I'm finally going to get up to my friend Daynier's place. He's got a coffee plantation, and he's got the most famous coffee tour in Costa Rica. But the thing is, it's there's so much video I want to do up there. It's kind of an ambitious project. I'm going to have to spend a lot of time there, so I've been putting it off. Oh, so where are you located now, my voice? Down in town. I I'm about 5 minutes from here, like my actual house, not my house, my apartment. It's 5 minutes from here. That's why I can wake up late and still make it on time for the live. I'll tell Daniel you said that about his coffee. He loves that kind of feedback. He's so proud of his product, and he makes the best coffee in the world as far as I'm concerned. Cafe Don Emilio. That's the name of his father's Don Emilio. That's the name of the coffee brand. Cafe Don Emilio. And he's having a little bit of a New Year's celebration up there. He invited me to, but I just want to start New Year's without a headache and hangover. And I know if I go up there, I'll probably have a few cocktails there. So my voice, have you been enjoying the beach a lot, or just doing a lot of different things, or just kind of chilling at the beach? So I think there's two kind of approaches you can use when you come here. You can go to the beach and just mellow out, or there's all these different activities. You can go whale watching, you can go do the zip lining, do the Survey tour, Survey River, and some of those active things are some of the things I'm planning on for 2023 to spice things up a little bit. So many things I put off experiencing, and some of them I've experienced and haven't done videos about. So I'm grateful for the new year to have that new slate. I brought my Spanish language booking calendar, so my calendar is in Spanish, so it forces me to be thinking more in Spanish when I'm writing in my appointment book. So in Bahia, they really did a lot of work on the road there. The road that goes, it's by the falafel place. It goes from Steve's supermarket down to the beach. That was all full of potholes, and they really fixed that. So if anybody there is planning on going from like Dominical to San Isidro, just know I went to San Isidro yesterday, and there's like 3 different spots where there's been avalanches, it's typical for that road, but you have to wait for the loader to load the dump truck, and I'm not sure how long that project's going to take, because it keeps falling. So you don't know from day to day if that will be a construction area. But I had to wait probably at least 20 minutes yesterday in one spot, and maybe 5 minutes in another spot. But anytime you travel that road, it's Route 243 from Dominical to San Isidro, Perez Zeldin. Anytime you travel that, there's always a chance of construction. So anytime you're going that way, you always give yourself extra time. And if you get caught behind a slow-moving vehicle, forget about it. Your time could be easily doubled. Yeah, Playa Hermosa, I can't believe how many people have been there. I go by there and the place is just packed with people. They've done a few turtle releases. Have you caught any of the turtle releases yet? They've been, I think they did one maybe yesterday or the day before, and they did it one at Marino Ballena and one at Playa Hermosa. Like it was, I think at 4 p.m. and 5 p.m. respectively. That's always fun. I think that might have been the reason why it was so crowded that one day I went by, because it was getting near sunset and people like to go there at sunset, and also the turtle release usually gets people excited to go. And because it's so accessible, you're right by the road. A lot of times when you do a turtle release at Playa Tortuga, you have to walk down the beach maybe half a mile or maybe even longer. But it's cool no matter what. The amount or the number of turtles they release it's really astronomical. Somebody told me a number. Well, no, it didn't tell me a number. It was on Facebook. I can't remember what it was, but I was really shocked at how many turtles are released. Yeah, that turtle program is definitely a labor of love. And a good thing about Playa Hermosa is they've got good lifeguards there. And they've got some good waves there, as you found out on your boogie board. So do you do swim fins and everything for your boogie board? That really helps you catch the wave a lot easier when you have the swim fins on the back. I've been to 30 beaches in Costa Rica. You get around, man. The hardest thing for me at the beach, it's with you can't leave your stuff unattended, so it's hard. If you go by yourself, you have to have some kind of container to keep your stuff in, your important stuff anyway. And if you're with somebody else, like you have to take turns going in the ocean. The only way to win is being a big group, and then you can take turns going in. But if you do leave your stuff unattended at the beach, it's just a matter of time, and it will get stolen. It just amazes me when I see people on Facebook posting, they just came in from the airport, first time in Costa Rica, and they parked at the beach and they left their laptop or something in the computer, and it gets stolen. And I'm never surprised it gets stolen. I'm just always surprised that somebody would leave their valuables in their car. Playa Carrillo, is that, am I pronouncing that right? Carrillo? And where is that? Donde está Playa Carrillo? Is that a white sand beach or a dark sand beach? There's a beach right outside of Manuel Antonio, and it starts with the E. I always, in my brain, it always comes out Esmeralda, but that's not how it's pronounced. But it's the beach right outside Manuel Antonio Park. It's a really beautiful beach. But about 3 weeks ago, there was a great big crocodile there. It kept showing his big ugly face there. It was on Facebook quite a few times. Yeah, we were just talking about that because I deal with that with my paddleboard, and Playa Pinuela is just open according to my sources at Costa Rica Chronicles. The Amiga Brooke, she says that Playa Pinuela is open, and the waves aren't as intense there, as I understand. I've never been there because it's been closed since I've lived here. But that's an option. And there's always the rivers too, but like with a paddleboard, because rivers have crocodiles. So with a paddleboard, I'm afraid if I fall off, it's going to trigger some alligator, or not alligator, crocodile. What am I talking about? It's going to trigger some crocodile to come store me out. So I definitely need to check out Playa Pinuela. And if I get there before you, I'll post in the community tab what it was, how it was. Maybe I'll do a YouTube short. Because to me, that's a whole new beach because I've never experienced it. I've seen videos of it. There'll still be waves there, but they're not as tough to get through. I'm not sure what they've got a parking lot there. I'm not sure they charge for that. I'm sure if they got open, I'm sure that the local businessmen figured out a way to make money there. You see the sky getting a little bit bluer. But the cloud cover makes a huge difference. It's really hot without it. And if you're just tuning in, we're here live from Restaurante Don Roger, the Mirador, the viewpoint right outside of Uvita, Costa Rica, up on the side of the hill, overlooking the whale tail, which is it's kind of a little bit high tide right now, so you can make out the whale tail, but you can't really see the full effect. And there's tour boats out there getting ready to take people on their whale watching tours, picking up clients, and there's some surfers out there getting ready to hang 10, or however many they have to hang. Yeah, I think in any river around here, there's a good bet there's either crocs or there's also even in the smaller rivers, there's caiman that come up into the rivers. But I mean, they have the potential to hurt you, but I don't think the caiman are a problem. But I have no idea on that. Yes, I was telling my friend I was looking for a place to paddleboard that was a little bit calmer than the ocean, and he recommends the Surfay or the river in Dominical, which they do paddleboard there. It's just, and you've seen the videos there of the crocs. Some of them are huge. Those things are fast. They're fast in the water and they're fast on the land. And I've never encountered any in the I do a lot of river crossings when you go to the beach here, but that's always on your mind. You always think about it, but it's not really a realistic threat, but it's in theory it can happen. So that's enough for me to make me like think twice. It doesn't stop me from crossing the rivers, but when I cross the rivers, it gives you that little creepy feeling, which I guess is a good thing because it helps you preserve your life, the instincts. Yeah, that's what I figured. I figured the caiman really didn't present much of a threat, but they do have sharp teeth. So if they were accidentally saw your foot as a fish or something, maybe that could happen, but it's nothing to live in fear of, I don't think. Yeah, the rivers do give me the EBGBs. I do swim in the Rio Uvita, but I wouldn't consider that a huge river. But yeah, when I go to the ocean, being somebody who's lived, I grew up in a landlocked area, so upstate New York. So the ocean is kind of a foreign thing to me. So when I get out there and I have known below my feet, and if I'm on my paddleboard and I can't touch the bottom with my paddle, I'm like, oh, it gives me a little bit of the creeps. And I think it's a matter of desensitizing yourself. As I sit here watching all the surfers sitting out there bobbing up and down, you get used to it after a while. But it's also easier when you're in a group of people. You don't feel as vulnerable. You got a choice of all these people. Maybe you'll choose somebody else. The shark comes by. But like you say, realistically, you said that there's been no fatalities in Costa Rica that you've heard. Yeah, the river mouths are always interesting because it's like kind of the merging of the ocean and the rivers. Sometimes, like when the tide comes in, it makes the river go backwards, and you think, man, anything could be here. From if you're saying like a bull shark or a crocodile coming from the other way. In theory, not that it's not probable whatsoever, but you just have these thoughts in your head, and I guess it's kind of fun in a way when you think about it. Now, when you say shark finning, that's when they take the fins off the shark for the restaurant market. I know it's shark fins are like a delicacy in Japan or China. I can't remember where. Somewhere in the east. And as far as kayaking and things, the whale tail is kind of good for that in a way because it's protected. You have a little reef or whatever that is out there, the rocks. So if you get past the breakers at the whale tail, it's not too bad. The ocean itself right now seems a little calmer I don't know if this time of year it tends to be calmer because this, it's the Costa Rican summer. But it always looks calm until you're out in it. When you're out in it, then you're like, oh, I can feel the rolling of the waves. I still want to take some surf lessons just to check that out. I wish I had binoculars because there's a few boats right down there by the river. They're actually up further than they would normally go. Let's look up the high tide here. So high tide here is at 6:53. So it should be on its way down, but it's still on the high side. So there's an interesting battle going with the sky here. We got the blue sky to the right, and then to the left we've got some overcast coming in, almost rainy looking. And we did get some rain last night, which this time of year you don't always get rain at night. I mean, when it's not the dry season, it's almost guaranteed it's going to rain at night. But I had clothes out on the line. Of course, I got a little bit wet, but it'll dry out today, I think. So the tour boats are on their way out to see the whales or visit. Some of them go and visit the island. Oh, gracias. And some go down to Corcovado, which I get to explore. So I'm definitely going to check out Playa Pinuela today and see what it's like there. It really is interesting looking at the sun. There's out towards Dominical. It's looks like it's sunny down there, or up there. I mean, we'll look to the south, and it's looks like it's raining out at sea. It really is interesting when you live in a place like this because you have your beach weather, and everything right off the coast, and you go inland just a little bit, and it's completely different weather. And then you start going up the mountains, and you never know what you're going to get. There's a point on the road to San Isidro where you're basically driving through the clouds, so it rains on and off there, like on a permanent basis, even this time of year. So if you're in Uvita and you're looking for a really great place to have breakfast, the Restaurante Don Roger here is perfect. I'm actually, this whole broadcast, I've been the only one here, so it's not crowded, and it's the best view you can find. You can't get a better view than this. And it's not super duper hard to get up here. They maintain the road really well. And they've got an extensive menu for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And we definitely need to do a live for sunset here. I think that would be cool. Yeah, I think if it's the park, which I think it is, they won't allow dogs. I could be wrong, but if I was a betting man, I would say that my buddy Buford's not going to be allowed to go to Pinuela. Not legally. I'm sure you'll find a way to sneak him in your bag or something. I saw a woman trying to sneak her dog, not sneak her dog in, but she came to the entrance, the main entrance to the whale tail, and she had this tiny dog. It didn't even look like a dog. It was so tiny. And she asked if she could bring it in. And I said, no, there's no dogs allowed. And, that's the policy. So if that is the park, which probably is, I don't think so, but maybe they can give Buford a special permit. He's a emotional support dog. I bet you Buford will be glad to get back home up on the mountain. That resort living doesn't seem like it would suit him that well. But he's probably made a few friends there, I imagine. So I'm working on a video now about the shake that I make. I don't know if anybody will be interested in it or not, but that's just something I'm gonna eventually throw out there when I get it edited. I do make a mess what I do is I make a batch of the shakes, and the other night I made a double batch, and then I take the concoction and I pour it into containers and I freeze it, and then after it's frozen, and I want to make a glass of it, I just kind of either chop it out or scoop it out depending on the consistency, and I put it in my little individual container for my Ninja, and it's almost like a Slurpee. It's so cold. Yeah, up on the mountain, he's got so many things he can bark at. Even the monkeys in the trees. Do you have any monkeys at the resort? Probably don't have any monkeys there. Well, it was nice to have that little mini vacation. Now you can go back and then appreciate your old home that much more. Okay, so I guess I'm going to wrap this one up again. Oh, I got it. Stingless honeybee was finding me irresistible, so I had to send him on his way. So that's all I've got for this episode of Costa Rica Story Live. Make sure you throw the like button, give it a little tap, and share this with a friend. And hasta luego. See you next week, next year. See you next year. Hasta luego.